Events and attributes are in this table here. An attribute's kind of like event without a date, and that's how this is organized. Anything that doesn't have a date is going to be down here at the bottom, organized alphabetically. Up here is the dated stuff is going to be up here, sorted by date. Date, place, particular age, and roles are conclusions. A role of conclusions is a finding, and one finding, which is a row of conclusions, is linked to one assertion, and one assertion is linked to one source. Over here you've got your sources. You can make a new source, a new citation, but over here, if you do that, it's going to be linked to a conclusion. You can unlink it if you want, like this. Click like that and save changes. But what if you wanted to just make an assertion from the get-go? Well, an assertion is what a source says, right? So it's all about sources. You go here and you do it. It's just that I haven't created the code for doing that yet. So pretty much think I'm going to have the same thing as I have here and put it over here. So you can create a source, create a citation, create an assertion, but not link it to anything here on the conclusions table until you get ready to. So let's give George a parent name, George L. Heaton. To create the person, George L. Heaton. This guy's name is George Lafayette Heaton Jr. I don't have a source for that either, by the way. These are conclusions about names. The assertions on the name are, as we mentioned in the last movie, over here. So here's George. He's the only person in the tree. Let's put somebody else in the tree. George. This is an autofill, but we aren't going to use what's autofilling here. We're just going to say George L. Heaton. There you go. There is our new person dialog. We know he's M. We'll give him this same picture here by default. We'll just assume it's a birth name for now. Auto sort, and there you go, Heaton George L. We can accept that because it doesn't say senior after it. And by the way, people on Find a Grave sometimes send me a message, oh, you got to edit your doodad on this doodad guy because this doodad is supposed to say senior. Well, no, people don't name their child senior when the child is born. That's not the birth name, okay? Anyway, that's just a minor fussy little point. Okay, let's just go like this and see if this works. Okay, there's George L. Heaton. Now George has a papa, so we can go here and look at his page, right? There he is, person number 2, George L. Heaton. That works nice. And he's got an offspring. Oh my goodness, the offspring event is not made by the user, the genealogist. It's made by Treebard because it would be a duplicate of effort because it's basically saying someone was born. So you don't want to do that. Part of the reason we create a birth event automatically is so that we can also create an offspring event automatically, and the user just doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to do in that regard. We got the right birth date for George Jr. and everything hunky-dory. I don't see a way to add a spouse to him. Oh, wait. Yes, there is a way. Look, let's try doing it right here. I mean, we could always go back. We could always just double-click here, go back to George Jr. and put his mother right here. All right, we could do that. Or we could do it like this. Alice, you could go like this. Don't use words. Don't say unknown, U-N-K, anything like that. We don't know her last name, okay? We know her name's Heaton. We could do that and call it a married name. It's up to you. I don't like to do that because it's too obvious, okay? This is an autofill. You want to go like this. Tab out. Select which marital findings and children to link to added partner. This is one child. We're going to link this to the partner. George Sr. and Alice are both going to be linked to this child. That's their child as a couple. That's why it says partner there, okay? This is female. We could change this to a female picture. Doesn't matter. It's just a default picture. You can make your own default picture. Well, Alice underscore is not a real name or a birth name or a married name or anything else. It's a placeholder for a name. So let's just say that's what that is. First name is Alice. That looks okay to me. Let's see what happens. There she is, where she's supposed to be, okay? What if I change to her? That she is. Person number 3. You point at George. Well, that's a name tip. It says, what kind of name is that? Now here you got, oh, look now, ID number 3, but that's a placeholder for a name because it's got underscores or blanks here. What about giving him a sister? So if George is going to have a child with this partner, we're going to click this partner, which is clicked by default, and then we're going to add a child to the selected partner. So it's automatically going to be George Sr.'s child, and it's going to be Alice's child also because this is clicked. Annette, she's 11 years old, born in Ohio. This is going to be a new person. You see it's an autofill, so I just keep going. Annette Heaton, add child to selected partner. This one here, assume it's a birth name. I don't see why I wouldn't assume that, but you don't have to. You can get more evidence if you want before you make some assumption, okay? It's up to you. Auto sort is already done, and we're going to accept Heaton, comma, Annette, hit okay. To give her a birth date, can I do that right here? This is the conclusion table. We can say anything we want here. We can conclude that she was born, let's say about ABT 1929. We want to say she was born in Ohio. So let's double click there and go Ohio, USA. Oh my goodness, will you look at that? Ain't that handy? Okay, let's think about putting in a source for that information that we just input. We gave her a date of birth and a place of birth. So let's just go in here and make some assertions. What this assertion is about, this is a date. Source that makes this assertion, I typed a 1 and there you go. All right, now citation within the source, and this is the date assertion. The date assertion is, well, this is up to me. You see, I don't have to use exact quotes, but I can. That's pretty much where I got the idea that she was born in 1929. It makes total sense. So now we've got a date over here for a birth event. The assertion is that she's 11. It says so in the age column of the source, which is the 1930 census. So I think that makes good sense. Oh, look, she's got herself a source now. And that is the sister of George. Well, just look at that now. Oh boy, this is fun. I like doing this. Here we got George L. Heaton. He has no parents yet, but his wife has a parent. Let's put her parent in. Let's do that. She got a mother named Annie. She's a widow, says right there. She's born in Ohio, and her parents were born in Germany. Okay, and she's 60 years old. Let's give George L. a mother. Annie by female. This time, let's say married name, because we can if we want. It's up to you. All right, and then go auto sort by Annie's already done. And hit OK. Let's switch to Annie. Let's give her a residence event. The Treebard's not going to do anything for you, not a whole heck of a lot because I don't believe in it. But what it is going to do for you is that portion of the work that is repetitious, it will try to make it less tedious. For example, I just typed in R. I didn't have to go select that from a drop-down box, nothing. It's a single stroke and tab on, new conclusion, hit the space bar. It made that residence event. In 1930, she lived in Madison, Lake County, Ohio. And you can't say 4 for April. Treebard doesn't use numbers for months, not for input, not for display, but otherwise, Treebard's very free on input of dates. In this residence, she lives in Madison. That was a small m. I didn't have to capitalize it, nothing. I just went straight in. All right, so you don't have to put any of that stuff in. You don't have to put it all in. You could do what you want. And then we could give it a source. Let's do that. We could give a name assertion. I typed a 1. The rest I didn't have to type. Down arrow or up arrow, either one will open the drop down. If there's a lot of stuff in that drop down, up arrow would open it from the bottom and you'd be arrowing up from the bottom. A down arrow would open it from the top. You'd be arrowing down from the top. All right, the assertion is, we're on names. Now we see we've got one assertion over here in names, okay? You don't have to put the quotation marks. You can if you want. It's up to you. I like to say quotation marks if it's exact. This is not going to be used to do any logic. Treebard doesn't do your thinking for you. You make your own conclusions. You read the assertions yourself with your own eyes, and you make your own conclusions. Treebard is not smart software. You are a smart person, and that's why you like Treebard so much. Let's also have a date assertion, for example. Type of 1, there's only one source. If we had like 1940 census, 1920 census, then you'd have to type a few more characters. But right now, you just type a 1 and you go like that because, I mean, this is the easiest program in the world for sourcing and the best. If it's not, then let me know. The assertion is let's say the date of census visitation. You can do what you want here. And we're going to have some exact, we're going to have an exact quote. What is it? April 28, 1930. All right, now we have 2 over here, 2 assertions. How about a place assertion? We could have a place assertion and an age assertion for Annie By. Have a place assertion. This is the easy part now instead of the hard part. See, now so we can concentrate on what? On the genealogy instead of the boring citations have to be typed over, pasted, and copied. Oh my goodness, what a pain it is to do sourcing in all the other software. The assertion is that how you do this is up to you. We know that this is going to be about a census place. We could just say Madison Township, Lake, Ohio. Oh, we're going to do an age assertion for Annie By. We're still on that residence, see? Because this is what I click to open the assertions tab. However, if I click over here, look, no assertions. None of these tabs have any asterisks. See? Empty. So the one you want to link to an assertion is the one that you click here in the sources column. All right, so let's do age 60. It's so much fun to do sourcing. Oh my goodness. The assertion is 60. Keep it simple, you know. All right. Now you might have different sources. One source might say she was 61. Another source might say she was 64. So we're gonna, if you have more than one assertion about something, then you can compare them, and they're going to be all right there. You're going to look at, you got different age assertions for her. You can compare them right here. You might have the 1920 census says she's 48, in which case we see a little discrepancy, you know. That's normal in genealogy. So I'll see you next time. Bye.